Play this game if you hate yourself and everyone else. I hate this game. Made me want to off myself. 10 out of 10. Play at your own risk. Your insanity will be tested. I mean, how hard could it really be? Dang. Damn, bro, I can't fucking. So yeah, after playing For Honor for about 80 hours, I can say it truly can bring out the worst in you. But you see, this game has a particularly strong infectious disease. No matter how angry you get, you just keep coming back to it. It's like an abusive ex you just keep coming back to whilst also not figuring out why. But what makes this game so amazing to make a person feel this way, you ask? Well, luckily for you, me and my elite group of scientists have made a shocking revelation. We have deduced the combat as quite literally one of the best combat in gaming. But wait, whoa. Before you send me the impel down for that extremely hot take, hear me out. On the surface, For Honor attacks are simple. You got your heavy attack, then your fast attack, which you probably spam when you're panicking, and you got your oh shit look out attack, aka the unblockable. You can attack from 3 different angles, from above to the left and to the right. There's also something called a ground break, which is like a stun lock. You also have the ability to dodge like a deadbeat dad with responsibilities. But tread lightly, struggler. Just because you know the basics, the path only gets more and more darker. This is where the learning curve really hits you. And sadly, right at this point is where most players end up quitting and uninstalling the game. But they don't realize just how close they are to peak enlightenment and depression. You see, each and every time you die, you get something like a Zenkai boost, but you don't really notice till like a day or 2 later. There is then a point you start feeling excited. You can feel yourself getting stronger. You start going on kill streaks. You start to feel like you're on top of the world, but then your plot armor officially runs out. Oh my goodness. I can't move. Wow. I swear this mostly happens at 3 a.m. and tread lightly. You will see some wild things and wild usernames. My goodness, this is insane during this time. This is when you start seeing what I call mini boss battles. You'll go in thinking you're real good just to find out you're just a Cyberman that's been taking out Yamchas this entire time. That light attack spam from the same side won't work because these guys are mutants. They can parry anything. Seriously, I wonder how can they get this good? Are they just able to just parry job applications? But that's besides the point. This is probably where your training arc begins. But listen here and listen closely. See, what separates ass For Honor players from terrible For Honor players, I learned that they at least have the concept of parrying and can maybe achieve it every once in a while. But their attacks can even be sensed by Stevie Wonder. See, I was Dave for a while. I main a Orochi and a Kenshi. I noticed my unblockables started to get parried a lot. So that's when I learned to fake it, then or either go into a ground break. Or I learned to do a kick with Orochi, then fake an unblockable into a slash attack. With Kenshi, I learned to do the same, fake, then slash. And I found myself winning more duels. But don't get the wrong idea. I consider myself slightly below average. Trust me, I have went through the harshest reality check a man can go through. These individuals can get you rushed to the ER from immense hypertension. Before you even click on the mode, it's literally a ominous vibe. All it took was 3 ranked matches for me to realize that I was the equivalent of Tenten. But these humbling moments in For Honor makes the game more exciting. The person that keeps killing you the whole match just seems unstoppable. But once you manage to get that 1 kill, it makes you, come here, thank you. Oh my goodness. Fighting for my life, bro. Fighting for my life. Feel really damn good. Now moving on to the factions. But before I explain them, let me tell you something about the interesting lore. Long ago, something called the Cataclysm happened. It was a natural planet-wide catastrophe that struck the world of For Honor. And I mean earthquakes of an immeasurable manner. Freaking meteor showers and massive volcanic showers. The shit basically looked like Planet Namek when it was nearing explosion. Entire civilizations were wiped out. The odds of you even surviving this was about as much as an anime male protagonist not tripping and falling into a female's boob. So basically slim to none. But those who did survive will see a world completely different than they remembered. The Knights came from a once great empire. They settled in the southwest and called their lands Ashfield. The Vikings came from the north and named their claimed territory Valkenheim. The samurai, I ain't gonna lie, they had it the worst. Their entire home was swallowed by the sea. They would then find refuge in the mire, which is described as a dangerous yet beautiful place no one else dared to even live. And the fact that their homeland is swallowed up, they're basically probably the last of their people. And what happens when you have three completely different factions with completely different ideals, while they're also focused on survival? Well, you get war. They continually fought for about 1,000 years where we are today. Now, this is where I introduce something called faction wars, where another faction can take land from another faction by acquiring troops, which can be earned through the different game modes. And basically, who has the most occupied land wins and apparently gets reward. I say apparently because as a samurai, I am not used to winning shit. So I don't know what rewards they even get, which 97% of the time, the Vikings always ultimately win. And next the Knights, who are at least capable to pull off a win. Now, this leads me to the game modes. There is 7 currently, and only 3 or 4 maybe is relevant. Let's start off with Breach. You can be on offense or defense. If you are on defense, your main goal is to stop the ram from smashing through 2 gates and killing your commander. You also have to defend archer points, which is good for defending against the advancing soldiers around the ramp. But listen here and listen closely. There are only 2 ways to damage the ramp: by having your soldiers attack it, or if the ram reaches the gate, you can pour this cauldron on it. And it is in your best interest to have the ram as low as possible, because how many bars around the ram equal the amount of lives they'll be able to use to kill your commander. So the lower the better, or even better yet, have it destroyed before it could even reach your commander. Now, your main goal on the offensive is to defend and escort the ram to the wall so it can smash through the gates and kill the enemy commander. Good luck killing the commander, however, because he is essentially a Baki character. If we translate this to anime terms, he can potentially whoop your ass. Dang. Dang, that brother hit hard. But there's one more interesting thing about Breach that no other game mode has. What if I told you, yes, you could enter the avatar state by killing this mob called a Guardian? Mind you, he's kind of tough to beat by yourself. But if your team does kill him, all your teammates around the vicinity will get a boost to their health, infinite stamina, and other things. This next game mode is where all the cool kids go. This is always the most populated one. I present to you 4v4 domination. The main goal is to secure objectives and be the first one to get to 1,000 points. Once you have 1,000 points, the other team breaks, as in they have no respawn left. So once they die, and last team standing wins. The other worth noting game modes are 1v1 and 2v2, which is pretty much self-explanatory. I will have to say though, 2v2 started my villain arc. Because you see, I noticed a pattern. People will let people 1v1 and not 1v2 the other person if the other opponent is dead. I thought that was a status quo, because the first few matches I was mostly seeing that. But this Highlander main destroyed all hope. Now I gank with no regard. Wow, bro. But anyway, let's talk about leveling. Every character has its own individual level, which starts off at level 1. The maximum level is 20, and then after that your character prestiges, and your whole account does as well. Currently I am prestige 13. However, prestige seems to be infinite, because I've seen a prestige 1089. I think that's the current One Piece chapter, is it not? That's outrageous. Prestiging your character also gets you access to better gear. For example, the higher you are, the better gear you can get. There are 5 rarities of gear. The gray being common, the blue being called rare, the purple being called heroic, the yellow being called epic, and lastly, the best being called legendary gear, which is a teal color. The gear actually gives no boost to stats. It only boosts your perks, Once you reach 600 in perk points, then a perk can be activated. You can also upgrade your gear, but in order to do that, you need salvage. And in order to get salvage, you must also dismantle gear that you don't need. The higher the rarity of the gear, the more salvage you can get out of it. Prestiging also gives you access to sets of cosmetic gear. I mean, just look at this one of Kana Orochi. This leads me on to the last thing, and it's the battle pass, which gives you access to weapon sets, executions, steel, and other things. All in all, For Honor is worth the shot. Play it now.